So, you were in a difficult meeting. Everybody seems to be not on your side. There are men and women around the table, and the pressure's on. The crisis is here. How are you managing the room? You're the leader, the CEO, the entrepreneur who started this whole business. And now you have the pandemic, you have civil unrest, you have so many things to challenge you, including your business. And how are you going to manage the cost, manage the risk, and most importantly, manage the people? Because you're not on your own in this. You have a sizable company, medium-sized company. It's been healthy in its turnover up to this year. But the pandemic has really given you things to think about. You had to furlough staff. You've done your best to do remote working. And now you have occasions when you're meeting for meetings. Now it's time to look at your crisis management strategy with regards to people and the conversations that you have for several reasons. The first is to reduce the pressure and tension. The second is to lift and inspire and include. And the third is to make sure your creativity and innovation factor keeps going. Because it's your vision, it's your company, but they are part of it. Now, around the table, you've got different types of men. They're different to you. Some are the same, some are very different. You have women around the table who are definitely different to you if you're a man. And if you're a woman, then you have difficulties sometimes with other women. We share that, we know that. The difficulty is in the tension and the pressure of today's crisis, not in you. You're not a difficult person and they are not difficult people. What we offer you is a way of understanding how people sit around that table, how they come to conversation. Are they the very masculine-minded man who's very, very focused on action? He knows what it's right, and he finds it hard to think about the emotions at the same time as action? Or is it the more intuitive, feminine-minded male whose thinking is sitting there reflecting, observing, but actually he's got a load of ideas? You have to tease them out, allow him time, stop the battle between him and that masculine-minded man. Now the women sitting around the table, some of them will be more masculine-minded, some will be more feminine-minded, but they're all females. And females think differently to men in terms of immediate reaction to pressure, tension, and crisis. Women are built on a system of hormones and menstrual cycles, nurturing, emotional intelligence born with them through their need for compassion, for companionship, for sharing. But they have an amazing amount of capacity to build relationships. And that's essential when you're in the crisis, because you need to retain your customers and retain your staff. Now, it's not that men can't relate to that factor of compassion and empathy, but men are more focused on the action needed to get the job done. Now, you need both. And for you as a leader, depending on whether you're one of those four types, the masculine-minded man, the feminine-minded man, the masculine-minded woman, or the feminine-minded female, you're sitting on a new template, a new landscape, a new territory. The territory is no longer the old style, profit first, people second. Now we're into sustainable survival, sustainable growth, inclusion with people. And just know that when you do get this right, and we're here to help you, you will maximize your potential natural talent that's sitting around that table. They may have fears that you don't know about yet, and you don't need to know all of them, but you do need, as a leader, to understand both the tensions of today and the potential of what is sitting around the table Once you do those small steps to understand how everybody sees that table of conversation, understands the stresses and strains, and engages with what you're wanting to do, you will find a way through this crisis. I'm Pauline Crawford-Omts, and I am the CEO, the Chief Engagement Officer of Corporate Heart International. And our passion is to bring you sustainable tools and techniques to bring you through this crisis. I'm working in partnership with my CEO, a crisis management team that has every tool and technique that you could possibly need. And we're very interested in your problems. So come and see us. Let's find out what it is you need to manage that table of conversations, that table of people around you. We're here to do this together.